Barberry, we just want to talk about Crimson Cutie. We'll keep talking about that. That's, our go-to barberry going forward. We keep getting people looking for straight pygmy barberry. We're really not putting a lot of focus on that one anymore. It's still in the plan, but, it's kind of limited numbers. We really want to push the attributes of Crimson Cutie and the new Proven Winter ones. Those are really good as well. We're also going to have the Worry-Free Lemon Glow. That'll be coming on for late fall into spring. That'll be limited numbers, but that's coming on too. So plenty of these out there. Keep offering that. That's really the way people should go. Just better breeding, better plant, and it's sterile. So it's still the only one that's certified sterile. So keep pushing it. Daravilla Kodiak Black. We continue to have a lot more Kodiak Black than Kodiak Orange. I know that Kodiak Orange is probably more popular, probably because you can't get it. We always want what we can't get, but we have more coming online, and we've been trying to propagate and buy liners and do everything we can to build that number up. But we do have good numbers on Kodiak Black. It propagates a little better, a little easier. And it's a better grower through the transplant process. That's why there's more of those out there available. As far as once the plant get established, there really isn't much difference between Kodiak Orange and Kodiak Black as far as its hardiness and how it grows. But obviously they want that Kodiak Orange for that coloring. But you can see here fantastic size on these Kodiak Black. And so see if you can keep promoting those and offer them as a sub. Grass Cheyenne Sky. This is the time of year where this one really plumes up and starting to look like what it should look like. You can see there it's a very open plume. It is a native type of grass, a plains grass. So that's pretty important to a lot of people. Very tough, can handle a wide range of conditions. It's in the Proven Winter program. So take a look there. Next is Gracilis. We're going to hit a lot of grass here, so I'll go pretty quick, but you should know Gracilis. But this is a 19 centimeter, and just look at that size of that thing, how fantastic that is. This would be a shame for a landscaper not to take advantage of this. They're going to get an impact of a 3 at that 19 centimeter price. They can fill a job in really fast. So that can be critical on some of these jobs when labor's short, and you can dig a hole a lot faster for this than you can for a 3. So morning lights. Let's see here, we have a 19 centimeter and a 3 gallon. That's a variegated long variegation type of grass. Strictus is one that you should be fairly familiar with. That's the next one. There you go. That's a banded type of grass, so that's where it's going to go across the leaf, like your little zebras and your zebras and all of those. You can see there, fantastic color. A lot of times these banded grass lose their banding a little bit in the summer, late spring, early summer, and then they gain it back. So we're past that period. These will definitely, as we go on through the fall, that banding will get a lot more pronounced. So that's good. And variegata, which is the opposite. So this is a long type of variegation, the white, cream white with the green. This is one that's been around for a long time, extremely tough. So a lot of really nice looking grass. This is the time of year where they shine. Stuff like the Gracilis and the variegatas, things like that, we're still a little ways away from sending up a plume. That usually happens the end of August, 1st of September, where the plains type of grass that we just talked about, a lot of those are now. That's just something to remember when you're selling them. Just make sure that if somebody's new to it or doesn't quite understand it, then you need to make sure that everybody's on the same page with the plume time. Hydrangea Strawberry Sundae. So this one here probably won't set a flower for a little bit. just because of the trimming cycle. They're blooming right now in the landscape. These will bloom, but it's going to be a little bit later here. We want to keep making sure that we keep these very compact. We're almost done with late trimming on the hydrangeas. The only reason we trim it is if we think it looks like it's going to flop, then we cut it back and re-break it. But most everything has that we're going to offer for the rest of the year has already gone through that. So they're flushing out. They'll go through a bud set here, but it'll be a little bit later. But Strawberry Sunday is that's in a 2. We put it in a 2. It's a little more dwarf. It's kind of really our only dwarf pink in a paniculata right now. But great plant to fill in, and we got good depth on that. Ilex Sky Pencil. So this is a Cronata. So, you got to be a little careful with going with this really far north, but for the Ohio zone that we're in, south, great plant to use, great for formal hedging, screens. It will get up there in height, not massively, but they'll mature out at about 12 foot. You can see here we're well over our spec of 24 inches. Actually got great full bottoms on them that can be difficult to do. This one really just wants to grow up. It doesn't want to fill out, so we do go through a lot of trimming to try to get as much breaks on the bottom as we can. And you got 1,000. Juniper Blue Carpet. So this is one that we had a long time ago, and then we took it out of the plan just for lack of interest. There was a whole series of junipers, probably close to 20 years ago, that were put on to combat tip blight. People just at the time couldn't move off of the Tams and whatever the old varieties, and so they just didn't make any headway in the market. We're starting to see a little bit more interest, especially in the blue colors. They really want something that's disease resistant, that looks good all the time, that's easier to grow. That's where Blue Carpet comes in. It's got some excellent breeding with it. It hugs the ground, not like Blue Rug, but it's not going to get much taller than maybe 1.5 feet or so, and it will grow out along the ground. Very tough plant, has really no issues with disease, which is a big deal when it comes to junipers. So this is the type of juniper, and this is what we tried to push before, for parking lots and tough areas, and you got the parking lot right next to a road and snow plowing and running them over and everything else. This plant can handle that kind of stuff. So we're trying to ease back into these. So we got 300 of them out there. Just check them out. The breeding's been around for a long time, but maybe it's time for them to make a comeback. So see what you can do. Physocarpa Amber Jubilee. We've been out of this plant for a little while. Here and there, we had a little bit of spotty inventory, but now we're starting to get into the full inventories of the crop. You can see here how fantastic that looks. We talked about it before. Amber Jubilee is our pick when it comes to kind of the multicolor bronzing kind of color. Just excellent resistance to mildews. Great plant. It's in the first edition program. Fuji Fire Chief. I sent out an email a little bit ago to everybody about Fire Chief and Mr. Bowling Ball for comments. Thanks everybody for your comments. We just want to show you how great this crop looks, how fantastic it's going on. We got really good sizing. I got a lot of comments back from some of you touched on price, some of you touched on availability, some of you touched on people shutting down. The only thing that worried us was sales slow down a little bit more than normal, more than what's happened from historical data. So we just want to make sure that we keep pushing these out there, show people how great the crop looks. We're not in a panic mode. I'm not looking to special them or anything, just trying to figure out what the market's doing. So we'll keep going forward. We'll keep showing you these as we progress through the summer and fall. Mr. Bowling Ball, that's kind of we kind of pair them together, but they're kind of different. They're definitely different plants. But Mr. Bowling Ball is actually, it's called Bobazam. So some people sell it as Bobazam. It's a little different straight Bobazam than Mr. Bowling Ball. Mr. Bowling Ball is a little tighter, a little more uniform. But we have over 5,000 of these. We ran out in the spring on this stuff, so it just may be just got to get back out there in front of people and say, hey, we got the next crop coming on, and think about us when you're looking to order. Wigelia Electric Love. Don't forget the date night. So it's a mouthful, but you can see here we have a 3 and a 2. Great plant. This is in the Bloomin' Easy program. So it's got a lot of northern breeding in it. Extremely tough. Definitely tougher than like Spilled Wine or Wine and Rose, although they're pretty tough. But this one here, you can go anywhere you want in our sales territory, all up and through Canada. That's really what it was bred for, was more for the Canadian market. So great plant to have on board. Probably doesn't tend to have a lot of repeat bloom, but kind of a compact mound shape. Not a spreader like Spilled Wine, but it doesn't get as big as Wine and Rose. So it's somewhere in the middle there, but very compact, formal, nice shape. You get one big, huge bloom in the spring, and then a little bit of sporadic blooming through the rest of the year. But we really like it because of its hardiness, its toughness, and a great plant for just tough areas. So. All right, I think that's all of them. I know Jacob and he's working with Cheryl. They're getting the field inventories moved on, so that's in process right now. We have a goal of pretty much having most of the bulk numbers rolled in by next week. They're out there starting to size ribbon. Remember, we can't do full finish sizes on a lot of plants because they're still growing. Plants like Arborvitae, Amelanchier, things like that, they're still flushing out there in the field. So we're not really going to know the true size for just a little bit. So, but they'll at least have the bulk numbers in, so you can see, roughly what we're going to have, and then we'll true it up as we move along.